Okay, so welcome to my working pantry. This is what we come into and out of all day long to get flour and snacks and drinks and chips and all kinds of food. So I wanted to show you what we have and why we have it, and especially the way that I've organized it. So my husband actually built all these shelves. He said, "What size do you want?" And I'll go. So we did decide on doing a countertop here. So because it is a working pantry. And so whenever I need something, I have the counter space to work instead of just having shelves and having to like take things in and out. So that has been really helpful, is to have a countertop here. And then you can see at the bottom, I have pretty long, tall shelves as well. So that's really helpful for the bins. So we do live pretty far from a grocery store, but even if we didn't, I like keeping things on hand for convenience. And as long as things are stored properly, there's no issues with bugs. I have canned all of this food, and I will continue to can because first, I enjoy it, and second, it's really easy for times when we have really long days on Tuesdays right now. So on Tuesdays, or just a long day in general, or if the kids want to just pull something off the shelf, they can. So let me show you what's on every single shelf. All right, so let's start off with this section of the pantry. This is our coffee, bev, and snack station. I really like keeping a whole bunch of snacks in the trays because we're always on the go. And then we have a lot of visitors that come in. And so I really want them to feel comfortable, feel like they can just sneak on in, grab a cup of coffee, have any additional little things that they want in their coffee, and have a great start to their day or even evening. So moving on, here is going to be some of our grits and our flaxseed, then our raisins, and moving into the nut section as well. Panning around here is where you get into the fun section. This section is our fun section. It's where I have lots of granola that you can see on the right. The kids love making parfaits with coconut yogurt. And then you see we have sprinkles and all different types of chocolate chips. And I have cocoa powder for sweet and unsweet for baking. And then all the way on the left are all of our jimmies. And if you don't know what jimmies are, I am originally from New Jersey, and sprinkles are jimmies. So there you go. Here's our little fun section. Panning on down to the bottom here, we have our bin. So this is the beans and rice section. You can actually fit like 10 to 15 pounds in here. Then coming around are the chips and all different types of couscous. And although I do have regular beans, I like keeping canned beans because it's just a lot easier, right? And now here are all of our flours. So I do make a lot of gluten-free stuff, and then I have our bread flours and regular flours. This bin right here in the middle, panning over that, that's more of like a bran. It is a lot of gluten-free. It's like flax and stuff. Then coming down are stocks, and I do buy fun cereals for the kids. Underneath here is going to be pancake mix and Bisquick. And then here are our pasta bins. So I did start switching out for jovial pasta. It tastes so much better than corn. Jovial pasta heats up really, really well. And then here's some other convenience items. So for Fridays, we have mac and cheese, and then I have my rice noodles, and I absolutely love the seaweed. All right, let's see what else we have here. So panning back along this shelf, I absolutely love it. This is some of our own extracted honey, which is phenomenal. And then just some like little knickknack stuff that sometimes I use. We do make homemade ice cream. I do make homemade custard. And then here's some applesauce. So all of this I do can and preserve myself. And then another convenience item, just having some tomatoes. I do not can and process a lot of tomatoes. It's just not my thing, but we do a lot of tomatillo salsa, which you'll see here.
Those are peppers from our garden. Those are hot peppers. And then I do make my own vanilla. Don't be intimidated by making your own vanilla. It's really not difficult. Get you some good quality beans and then just put some clear liquor in it. Or you can even do some like regular liquor as well, like just dark liquor. And here's a little pan around.
We are now in the storage pantry that I have as well. So you just saw the working pantry, the one that we are in and out of all day, getting flour, getting snacks, getting all the things that we need during the day. And that is primarily where I store all of my canning supplies. But in here is where I store a lot of our bulk items. And by bulk items, what I mean by that is the flour. I'm going to take you on just a little bit of a tour back here. It is nice and organized. It was an absolute disaster a couple, I don't know, maybe a month ago or 2 months ago. And I couldn't stand it anymore. When I tell you a disaster, I mean like there was random stuff on random shelves, and it was, I'll show you what I have, why I have it. Okay, so we'll start at the top shelf here. This is where I keep all of my seeds, and this is all seasonal. So on the left where you see all the colorful stuff is the warm weather, which we do live where it is very warm. Those are predominantly the ones that are gonna be very, very heat tolerant. And then in the clear bin, those are all of my seeds where it's for like the cooler crops, things that need chill time, as we say. So the onions, the garlic, the root crops, and so forth. And then as we move along here are my bins of seeds and teas and herbal remedies, my fruit pectin. Then this basket over here is going to be the bands that have rust on them that I just have not gotten a chance to clean yet. So you can clean rust off of bands. I just haven't done it. Here's all of my canning supplies. Lids that I have. I do have extra. These are extra gaskets. So if you know anything about canning, sometimes, well, you just blow a gasket. It's not a saying. It's actually a thing, and it will scare the life out of you when your gasket blows. So these are all of my wide mouth bands and lids that I keep. Here's my basket of them. Here's my little gripper grabbers so that I can take it out, and then we move into the regular size bands and lids. And then when you're canning, you can't use regular lemons. You have to use actual lemon juice from a jar, because if you don't, like, all lemons have a different acidity to them, whereas when you get it in a jar, it's all the same consistent acidity. This is my tiny little canner, so I have two. This one I got for Christmas from my husband, and then I've got the big Mama Jamma that's in another storage closet that we have. We call it the party closet. So I've got a 921, and then I forget what this one is, but this one can still fit 7 quarts in it. So I can pretty much do 30 quarts at a time between the two of them, which is really nice. Here's our coffee grinder, all of my KitchenAid attachments. This box is really cool because this box is actually for bread. And what you do is you make your bread and you put it in, and the flour sits in there and the yeast sits in there. And the more that you make bread in this, the better your bread gets. Here's some extra teas and prebiotics, and there's probiotics back there. And then there's stuff for guests that are back there. Things that I know that people like different people that come stay with us, they have a preference of coffee creamer and so forth. So I keep that right there. No need to keep it in the pantry all year long. I like keeping a stock of almond milk just in case. So I have that. Now, back here is all of our honey. So we are beekeepers, and that's a lot of honey. That's back there. I keep mashed potatoes in a box on hand for if my potatoes are not done curing yet and we just want mashed potatoes. We actually used this the other day, so I use this. I've got a massive, I don't know, it's going to take years and years, decades for us to get through this trivia, but we have parties, we have things. Okay, I make all of my own mashed beans and refried beans, so I always have these on hand as well that you saw. So this is some extra. I do like this brand, so it's a good brand. I'll link them. This is some extra, as you see, like Cheerios, and then there's also extra sugar in here. I like keeping that in a container, keep the critters out. This chickpea flour, this is kind of funny because I ordered whole chickpeas because I like making my own hummus, and they kept sending flour, and I told Amazon, like, the description and the picture clearly have whole chickpeas, but you guys keep sending me flour, and they're like, well, it's a food item, you just keep it. So I've got 10 pounds, just over 10 pounds of chickpea flour for whenever, I don't know. Here's rolled oats, and then I also have steel cut oats, so this is my little stock of that, and then my regular flour that I have here. So here is the regular flour, here's the bread flour. I accidentally bought so much bread flour, but at the bottom right here is my gluten-free flour. So these 3 bins hold all of my flours. When I buy them, I store them in here, and because I don't just want them free floating, and it keeps everything nice and tidy. Now down here, I know it looks like a grocery store, right? But we live minimum 45 minutes from a grocery store, and I like to have stuff on hand. We drink Taco Bell sauce, so I keep a lot of that on hand as well. And then this coconut aminos we use, so we are primarily gluten-free, but I mean, I'm not crazy about it. As you can see, I have regular flour too. The organic flour, organic bread flour does not bother my stomach as much as some regular flour. In any case, a lot of this we do get at Costco, especially this coconut aminos. You can get it for a fraction of the cost at Costco instead of buying it at a regular grocery store. I'm Italian, I do make my own gravy, but in a pinch, especially given the times right now, I'm a little tired. So rouse. Okay, Latin, you should say it with a long A, right? So it should be raise, but I've heard people say rouse. So let's keep going. I love pumpkin, so we keep pumpkin. This is a little fun section here. Got some extra nuts, some extra granola. The kids love taking vanilla coconut yogurt and putting granola with it, with some fruit, extra spices, tuna on hand, and if times get rough, we have a box of Ghirardelli. So, and then my mom bought all of these little syrups for the kids, and then just some box cakes mix for them. Moving down here, this was a Christmas present 2 years ago. It's a dehydrator, and I really, really like it. So this is what I dry out all of my herbs in, and it works wonderfully. Do not use it in the house. Whoa, because you're essentially diffusing whatever you're doing. So do it outside, but this has been a gem. Here's all of my empty jars. So I will be canning probably around Christmas time or so. Some extra Annie's, diced tomatoes, tomato sauce. Okay, this is kind of funny. Long story short, we ended up with this 2 gallons, I guess it is, of corn syrup. And I kept asking all of our neighbors that kind of live far. I was like, anybody order this? And then the jokes started rolling in about corn syrup and who ordered this, and nobody claimed it. So Now it's here and I need to find a use for it. I do keep just some oil here as well, but I like cooking with butter. So, and then on the bottom, I have all of my stock pots and just some extra bags. I think in here are cooler bags. This company is no longer in business, but it was my 31, and these cooler bags are amazing. So again, we live kind of far from a grocery store and restaurants, and if we want takeout, whether it's hot or it's cold, these bags work wonders.
All right, everybody, so here is an overview of the pantry. Thank you so much for hopping along this video with me. Give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you in the next one. God bless you.